Okay folks, this is just some really fast and boring stuff about where we are. To be honest, I'm really not into graphical interface programming, and Python's take in there is not the best framework since it does not like resizing, but this is a non-resizable top level window, so it won't mess up everything. Getting to the topic, this is how the Music Composer's current state is, and what you can see at first, it does not look like a tracker-like interface you are mostly used to as a retro computer fan. As a kid, I spent a lot of time using the last releases of EJ, and to be fair, they were a lot more useful than the early ones. You could make your own sequences, there were a lot of wavetones you could choose from, so it was a professional music editor in my opinion. So, how is this thing designed? You can have 4 channels in mind, which does not mean you have 4 channels on the Atari 2600 since there are only 2 channels in the TIA. The lower the number, the more dominant the set tone is, so if there is no tone on upper levels, the tone will be played on channel 0. If channel 0 is occupied, the tone will be played on channel 1. If channel 1 is occupied as well, the tone won't be played. On this part you can select the musical notes. I imagine the TIA as an 88 key piano device and selected the parts for trembled bass, those had most of the notes with the correct frequency. You can see those ones on the sides. Where there are none, I'm gonna tell you soon what's gonna happen. If you click on one, I found a C code from 2003 that perfectly emulated the audio generation of the TIA, so you can have a preview for each. Besides the tremble and bass section, there is one for beat instruments. They don't have to fit any scales, just sound like a drum or a hi-hat, so they will be fine for sure. I read the documentation of Paul Slocum and got some inspiration. You have to think of the screen as you can place one note in one column, and if you place more of them in a row, it will be longer played. As mentioned, if both channels are occupied, you can still put there a note on channel 3 and 4, but the whole column will be disabled since there is no way to play them on the unexpanded hardware. Screens have 48 tones, you can insert new ones and delete the current ones, select them freely. What you can see after the panel is more interesting. There are 2 special effects. Bus for bass is a simple thing, it changes channel 6 to 7, which is better if you are matching up with channel 1. Vibration goes only for the tremble, it changes the sound by 1 octave, so it will give the tone a more exciting sound. Beats changes visual layout, this is the main reason why you have 48 notes on one screen. You can group the single notes by 2, 3 or 4, so you can design your music easier. Fade out will make the tone go out in more steps, which will of course take more space. Tone length will make the tone unit last 2, 3, 4 etc. frames long, not affecting effects like vibration or fade out, so it's basically not for making playback slower, but for making addition more compact. And for the last one, there is corrector. As I mentioned, there are a lot of keys to just don't have any tones in the TIA, so I calculated how I could achieve the wish frequency. And strangely, in most cases, if 2 or 2 and 1 of the following notes have an average value that matches, so if we can play them fast in order, we may hear the note we should. If you set it to 0, you will hear only the first note, 1 and 2 will change the frequency every frame, of course taking more space. So this is where we are and hope it can go well. This is the hardest part of this framework for sure since I began working on it, so see you later.